It's the 2K Sports Pregame Show.
Good evening, sports fans. This is 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith. Tonight we'll be watching the Los Angeles Clippers playing against the Spurs out in San Antonio. Well, for San Antonio, they are putting together an impressive stretch of basketball. Only one loss in their last 8 games. We'll see if that continues tonight. And we get to see Paul George tonight. Tremendous all-around player. But Shaq, if you were in George's shoes, what's the one area you might try to improve on?
I think he can get to the line more often because he's a great free throw shooter, and you want to make the most of that, Ernie.
You know what? He's a great playmaker, and he was exceptional before he got to Oklahoma City and before he got injured. So now he's going to just continue that. He's learning to reinvent himself in a different way.
It's time to tip this game off.
Let's tip it off.
Let's go to Kevin Harlan, and let's tip it off.
K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
And now your San Antonio Spurs starting lineup. At the small forward position, standing 6'8", number 9, Damari Carroll. At the point guard position, standing 6'5", number 5, Dejounte Murray. The other forward, standing 6'8", number 22, Rudy Gay. At the other guard position, 6 feet 7 inches, number 10, DeMar DeRozan. At the center position, standing 6'11", number 12, LaMarcus Aldridge. Your head coach is Greg Popovich. Once again, your San Antonio Spurs.
The Spurs play before the hometown crowd here live in San Antonio, Texas. This is Kevin Harlan along with Greg Anthony and Brett Barry. David Aldridge will be reporting from the sidelines. Looking at San Antonio, they took the win in their last game against Phoenix.
And you know what? Up against a weak defense, they were allowed to do pretty much whatever they wanted.
Yeah, what I like, though, besides that, is that they just didn't settle for it because weak defenses, you could take bad shots. That's not what they did here tonight.
The season now starting to take shape, Brent. We have a better idea of who the real championship contenders might be.
There seem to be a lot of familiar faces, Kevin.
I agree.
Always.
But that's okay. I like that.
Yeah, I do too, because in the beginning of the year, we have to do those radio shows and make predictions. Some of our predictions are coming true, yes. Thank goodness.
I know, we look smart, don't we?
I don't know about that.
No, you look smart, I don't. You look smart. And the Clippers starting 5. They've got Paul George. Montrezl Harrell is out there with JaMychal Green. Then there's Kawhi Leonard, and it's Beverly in at the point guard. Harrell against Aldridge. Oh, and he plucks it off the glass. Wow. Carroll kicks to Gay, puts one up from 19, and the jumper is on the mark. Gay's got his team on the board to start the game for the Spurs. Murray against Beverly. Down low, Harrell the pass to Green. Lets it go. One up, one down. 2 points with his first shot this game.
I love the patience, the tactical mindset of Leonard. He's so good at picking his spots, especially on the pick and roll.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, I caught up with Greg Popovich. He's looking to even the season series with a win tonight. He told me he knows his team can play better than they did the last time, and he thinks with the strong defense and shot blocking, they can make things difficult at that end of the floor. We'll see if they can impose their will tonight. Kevin, back to you.
Good work, David. Thank you. It sounds like defense is going to be the key for him today.
and it usually is. They try to use their D to make life miserable for every opponent they play.
And sometimes it's not just about one player. For them, it's about a complete defensive effort. In the paint, on the perimeter, in transition, they've got to be all over the place.
Here's George, following the basket by LaMarcus Aldridge. Here's Beverly, and it's Rudy Gay with the rebound.
That's another miss. Already they've missed 3 out of 4 to start.
Now the feed to Carroll. Leonard with the steal. Now about 2 minutes gone here in the first quarter. That's his second shot and his second basket. He's 2 for 2.
Now Doc Rivers in his 20th season as an NBA coach. I think he even raises his eyebrows to that. But among the active coaches, only Pop has had more years of coaching in this league under his belt.
Green against Murray. Kicks it to DeRozan. Gay dishes to DeRozan. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. And Doc Rivers, a 13-year playing career in the league, mostly in Atlanta.
Yeah, and still the Hawks' all-time leader in assists. He was an all-star back in 1988. A very long, a very productive NBA career as a point guard, a coach on the floor, and now he's roaming the sidelines.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Loop shots.
A free throw dropped for DeRozan. And last summer, after 9 terrific seasons in Toronto, DeMar DeRozan traded to San Antonio.
And guys, you have to feel for the sudden change for DeRozan. Gave Toronto some of their best years. At the same time, happy that DeRozan has gone to an organization that has proven success over the years.
He doesn't get the second one. For Los Angeles, they've gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game. A 3 from Leonard connects from three-point range. Leonard's got 7 points.
I think it gets overlooked sometimes, but Kawhi can put up some very good numbers from the three-point line.
Here's Aldridge. Good, and the assist goes to Murray.
And the combination of his quickness and soft touch around the rim really allows him to pull off shots like that. A lot of players don't have the reverse in their arsenal.
Cross contact on the shot, and now a three-point play chance as he'll head to the line.
Well, he hasn't missed yet, guys, and the defense is scrambling for answers to stop this hot start.
And with Kawhi Leonard, he just does everything well on the floor. Offense, defense, rebounding, runs the floor. I mean, he is one of the more complete players in our league. He can completely take over a game on both ends.
Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. Pirtle, he's checked in for DeMar Carroll, and it's Mills in for Murray. The free throw good from Kawhi Leonard. And Greg with Kawhi started as a defensive stopper, but he now is so much more than that.
I mean, he's got a great outside shot, that pull-up jumper, the turnarounds in the post. He has the complete repertoire. You never would have thought he was only viewed as a defense guy once upon a time, but was already a fantastic player. But this is a guy that continues to just add to his game. let's take a look now at Kawhi Leonard's numbers. He's been dominant over the last month, averaging 21 points per game, just over 2 steals and 5 rebounds. And just look at those scoring totals. He's been doing what he does best, putting points on the board.
His instincts naturally are to score the basketball. That ability to find the creases in the defense is something you just don't teach, and it's awesome.
Puts it up from 7. He clangs that one off the back iron, and down it falls.
So difficult to defend Aldridge inside. He can go around you or shoot over you, pretty much whatever he wants to do.
And first quarter, we're about 3.5 minutes in. Now here's Leonard, covered by Mills. Clock at 6. Williams. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. Williams has got his first 2 points.
You know, a lot of times we talk about good passing, but accurate passing is a huge quality of a good pass, and Leonard did it there.
Brent, a major pivot for the Clippers last season, trading away the most important player in franchise history, Blake Griffin.
Well, the front office made mention of sustainability and production over cost, and felt like it was the right time for them to move on. The size of that max contract, the injury risk of Blake Griffin and what's happened and transpired the past couple of seasons convinced them that they might be able to clear that out of the way, get some flexibility, and rebuild the roster in the way that they wanted to moving forward. Yeah, got to feel good about the way you started this one, guys, as he is making almost everything out there and giving his team a good, solid boost.
Now here's Green. He had an 18-point outing in the last game against Toronto.
And his scoring's going to get most of the attention, but his rebounding also stood out. He did a lot of glass cleaning in that game.
And Paul George finding some ways now to be effective on the inside.
And Mills kicks to DeRozan. Spurs passing it around. And stolen by Harrell. And pushing it up. Here's Los Angeles. Outside, George. The kick out to Williams. No good on the triple. And here's Gay. He'll bring it up for San Antonio. They trail by 1. Mills can't hit. The Clippers have gotten 6 of 11 shots to go down so far. Pretty nice shooting. Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. And Rudy Gay picks up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. And some changes here for the Spurs. Bellinelli, he's checked in for Gay. Walker comes in for DeMar DeRozan. And it's Bryn Forbes in for Patty Mills. Now, here's Zubats. And the Clippers miss again. Pass to Bellinelli. Walker surveying the floor. He kicks it to Aldridge. Good on the bucket. Aldridge has got 10.
And another momentum shift. These teams going back and forth all night.
Yeah, which team's going to find some consistency first? Neither one can pull away.
LaMarcus Aldridge has been on display for the San Antonio Spurs. He got into double digits for the quarter with 10 points total. Back right after this. And if you're just tuning in, it's been a pretty even game through the first quarter. And looking at what we've seen from the Spurs so far, guys, what do you think?
And boy, I tell you, it didn't take them long to find their rhythm. Strong offense through 1.
A nice game plan coming in, and right now sticking to it. It's a nice lead that they have.
Brent, as we take a look at lineups around the NBA, teams trying to go with 5 highly skilled players at once. Where does that leave the traditional big?
Well, most teams just don't have one now, Kevin. I mean, they're just not on the roster.
They're hard to find, yeah.
Well, they're hard to find, but there just aren't many out there. So a lot of teams just elect not to have one. And what we're seeing over the course of the last couple years is the matchups when all of a sudden a Whiteside is going to see a Drummond, or you're going to see all of a sudden Valanciunas play against DeAndre Jordan. It's usually because you have one, we'll play ours kind of mentality.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. Setting the floor for the Clippers. Ivica Zubac is out there with Mo Harkless. Then it's Paul George. Then it's Williams. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, guys, we see new players coming into prominence for the San Antonio Spurs. Now, Greg Popovich gives his veterans credit for accepting it gracefully and helping the young guys be successful. He says it's a tribute to their character and awareness. Kevin?
Well, they certainly have established a great culture in San Antonio. Really something. DA, thank you.
I like to see Lou Williams hustle like this, looking determined to get past everybody and be ahead of the pack.
Outside, Walker. Pass to Bellinelli. The dish to Carroll. 5 on the clock. Pirtle, the pass to Carroll. Shoots over Zubac. And good, and it takes a nice bounce off the right iron and down.
And usually Carroll will stay beyond the arc. That time stepping in for the basket.
Shamet from down in the low post. It goes.
A much better quarter for them shooting the ball.
And he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Especially in a game that is this close, every possession counting. That was just one side wanting it more than the other.
And guys, isn't it great to see a player who works that hard on the glass at both ends?
Well said, G. That's the way he has built, his reputation. Grinding away 100% effort all the time.
And then uses his explosiveness once he's gathered the rebound to throw it down.
Bellinelli against Beverly. From deep three-point range, and there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. And a look now at the San Antonio Spurs' upcoming schedule. On Saturday, they'll defend home court against the Chicago Bulls. Then on Monday, they'll be facing Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers.
And for their matchup with the Magic, it's going to be an all-out battle. And you just hope they are rested and able to execute their game plan, as it's going to be a tremendous challenge.
DeJounte Murray, he's checked in for the Spurs. And a switch here also for the Clippers. Leonard, he's checked in for Williams. So it's the Clippers now. 3-point lead. Shamet, he's covered by Murray. And the wide open shot from Bellinelli. Good, and the assist goes to Murray. Bellinelli's got 5 points now in the quarter. For Los Angeles, they've gone 4 of 6 from the field here in the second. Pass to Zubac. Outside Leonard. Shamet. Bellinelli is covering. 6 on the shot clock. And they call the foul, so he's got the and one chance here to make it a 3-point play.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And Greg, one of the stories that had started developing since last season was the talk of Kawhi Leonard wanting out. Too many soured relationships, it seemed.
And he was eventually moved after requesting a trade. Pop and the Spurs tried just about everything they could to convince him to stay. Probably the most drama for a team known for not having any drama.
Well, we've seen it. We've seen Kawhi Leonard mature and improve right before our very eyes. But one area where he was already pretty good was coming in at the free throw line.
Murray kicks to Aldridge. Over Harrell. That one doesn't drop. So Los Angeles will take it the other way. Last time they met was in Los Angeles.
And the last meeting of these two teams, they were really sharp defensively, disrupting the flow of their offense and causing a ton of turnovers.
It was definitely that defense that carried them to that huge win that night. You have to figure they'll be primed to wreak even more havoc here in this one.
Free throw drops for Green. We see more and more teams looking to push the tempo. Is that just a fad, or is this going to be a long-term thing?
Well, if I can play against any defense that has no ability to set up where they want to be or have the matchups with the players they want to have, Kevin, I'm going to look to take advantage. And if that happens in the first 5-6 seconds with one pass, so be it.
And good on the second, so he makes them both. And Brent, of course, you won a championship with the Spurs back in 2005 and 2007. Talk about the differences between those two teams.
Well, the similarities are more what I would go with, Kevin. 2005, it was a year where we leaned on Timmy a ton to beat a very physical, rough and rugged Pistons team who had won 6 Eastern Conference Finals. Maybe Manu Ginobili was the MVP of that series, by the way. And in 2007, the younger guys had grown up. We beat the Cavs 4-0, and that was LeBron James just putting on a show to get into the Eastern Conference Finals, beating that same Detroit team.
There's 1:47 left to play in the first half. Leonard finds George. His second shot goes in, off to a good start, 2 for 2.
I really like the awareness, noticing that he's got the mismatch, and then he just used his size as his advantage on the layup.
The pass to Gay. Here's Aldridge. An easy 2 points on the layup. Aldridge has got 12.
Yeah, he can have this kind of output, putting on a one-man show. Aldridge scoring whenever he wants.
DeRozan against Leonard. Shoots over DeRozan. A rebound by the Spurs.
Something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound stats for both teams are almost identical. How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
To the middle. And there's Green on the assist by Harrell. Green's got 4 this quarter.
And they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
Pass to Murray. Kicks to DeRozan. And here is Murray. Clock at 6. And the foul called on Kawhi Leonard. That's his first foul. Passes it to Aldridge. Now DeRozan, defended by George. Shot clock at 5. Tipped away. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off a shot. 24-second violation. Here's Leonard. He's got 13. He kicks it to Williams. Fires the 3. No good that time. So that'll be it for the first half. Fairly even battle underway in this one. Clippers ahead. They lead by 3. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thanks so much. Kawhi, you seem to be so at ease out there. How much is that helping your game?
It's helping me out a lot. Just coming in the game relaxed, just with more intensity. I mean, my teammates are getting me involved on the offensive end. I'm playing great on defense. We just got to keep it up second half and not let it up.
Hey, Kawhi, thank you very much for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball right after this.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to 2K Sports, the halftime show. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. Boy, we have a lot to discuss. Kawhi Leonard is having one of those nights. He had 13 points and 1 assist. There was a lot to like about his first 2 quarters in this one. And taking a look at the Clippers, Kenny, what did you see out there?
Well, I thought that turning point was when the bench came in. Those guys really hustled, and they gave the team some energy, and then they started to score baskets. That was a bonus.
Shaq, what did you see from San Antonio?
Well, a lot of their points came in transition. They dictated the pace of the game. It was a fast pace. Put the defense back on its heels. I say keep attacking the second half. Do not slow down.
And that'll do it for us. The third quarter about to begin with Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll catch you on the flip side,
my brother.
And if you're just joining us, we've played through the first half in a game that's been fairly even so far. Kawhi Leonard really has his fingerprints all over this one.
Yeah, good things happen when you maintain composure. Their shot selection has been extremely disciplined.
Hey, Greg, is there a shot that he's taken that has been out of the flow of the offense? I don't think so.
And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been fairly even so far. Spurs trail by 3. Murray and DeRozan in the backcourt together. Gay and Aldridge are up front. And it's Carroll in at the 3. So that's who Greg Popovich starts the second half with. And the foul called on Kawhi Leonard. That's foul number 2 for him. Pass to Aldridge. Spurs passing it around. 6 to shoot. Goes up the baseline, and the shot falls short this time. Los Angeles leading by 3.
PG played his first 7 seasons in Indiana with the Pacers and guided them to 2 Eastern Conference Finals appearances, and that playoff PG moniker that he came up with, it holds true if you look at the numbers. And when the Pacers were about to rebuild, I think Paul George let them know that he was willing to move on to continue his career somewhere else.
He gets a chance now to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, LaMarcus Aldridge and the Spurs got through some tension in their relationship early on. Now, Greg Popovich said it became apparent that it really was me. He'd been in the league for 9 years. I'm not going to turn him into some other player. That was just silly. So we took care of it, and he's been fantastic. Guys?
That's why Pop is the best in the business, DA. He's always going to figure it out. Thanks. A lot of fans in Indiana upset with Paul George for deciding to leave. Do they have a point, Brent, or is that unfair?
I think it's a little unfair, Kevin. 7 great years from Paul George. Obviously had to recover from the leg injury and came back strong. But PG wanting to go somewhere where he could win a title, and that's a decision that every player has to make. PG thought somewhere else he might have that opportunity and maybe more chances to do so.
Leonard against Carroll. Leonard the pass to Harrell. And Harrell slams it in.
Well, this is the next step and evolution for Kawhi, showing great signs of improved playmaking.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over.
Well, with the departure of Chris Paul and the trade of Blake Griffin, the Clippers deciding on a new look and a new direction. The era of Lob City, I think, officially has come to a close.
So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Jakob Poeltl's checked in for Aldridge. Bellinelli comes in for Rudy Gay. Walker's checked in for DeMar DeRozan. And it's Bryn Forbes in for DeJounte Murray. And from 2011 to 2017, the Lob City Clippers, as they were called, 50 wins or better pretty much every year.
It was a great team. It just did not have the kind of luck, and trust me, there is luck involved, needed to get themselves to an NBA Finals. A record 6 straight playoff appearances for them. Took a series lead, only to be eliminated, and then a lot of frustration set in because things didn't go the right way. And now a lot of guys not here for the Clippers moving forward.
And he slams it one-handed.
And the athleticism always been NBA caliber. Carroll showing it off there with the finish.
Beverly dishes to George. And Pirtle pulls it down. Up top, Walker. He's still scoreless so far in this one. It's blocked. And pushing it up, here's Los Angeles. Shamet. That falls. Nice feed that time from George. And the Clippers lead by 8.
Yeah, I didn't think there was a pass available there for Paul George, but he spots that small crease, he fires the ball through it, and he gets it to his open man.
Outside, Walker. Bellinelli against George. And Bellinelli kicks to Walker. Over Harkless. Walker's shot is off. Clippers leading by 8. No one near him. He gets it in there. He has 6.
And this is what Paul George gives you offensively, a guy who can create for himself, obviously, but he can do it for others and do it at a high level.
And the pass to Bellinelli. Pass to Pirtle. The baseline J. Got a piece of it, and he's able to get it back.
Well, he's gotten shots up, but they're not finding the rim. The squad's suffering because of it right now, a bit out of rhythm.
And that one's good. Beverly.
Well, there's some confidence right now in Patrick Beverly's game. He's got the green light, and that time took a little bit of a quick opportunity and nailed it.
Here is Forbes, defended by Beverly. Outside, Bellinelli hits it from three-point range. Bellinelli's got 8 points.
Just a little confusion among the D as to who was supposed to be on it.
So timeout called here, the first for Los Angeles. And Marco Bellinelli, a player who has always been able to light it up from outside.
And Belly has been on so many teams in his career, but is always a wanted commodity due to his shooting. Very quick and easy way to add outside shooting to a team. He can honestly play a long time just on how badly teams need shooting in our league.
Marcus Aldridge is checked in for the Spurs. Mills comes in for Walker. The Clippers also making some changes. Montrezl Harrell, he's checked in for Maurice Harkless. And it's Williams in for Patrick Beverly. Yes, that goes in.
And defensively, you've got to make a greater effort working over the screens.
Yeah, it's a bit of a lazy play right there. You're hoping that the guy misses the shot without really doing your job in challenging it.
To the inside, Zubats. Beautiful dish, and the layup goes down. Zubats has got 4 points in the quarter.
And after really leaning on that three-point shot in the first half, seeming like they're just getting away from it here in the second. More of the shots coming from the interior.
And Mills kicks to Bellinelli. And it's Paul George with the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. A different look now for San Antonio. Rudy Gay's checked in for Jakob Poeltl. DeRozan comes in for Marco Bellinelli. And Murray subbed in for Bryn Forbes. 24 seconds left in the third. Here's Mills. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. 4 on the clock. DeRozan's shot is off.
A good board there, Kevin, but overall they're getting slightly out-rebounded.
To the paint, it's tipped, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Aldridge.
Playing with lots of energy here, trying to cause turnovers.
Yeah, even though he doesn't come up with the steal, that kind of deflection will disrupt the rhythm of this offensive possession.
Defensively, this is what you know. He's coming off a hot game and looking to keep it rolling.
And you could try to key in on him, but that's tough. They run plays that routinely give him makeable looks.
And so it's Los Angeles, riding a 15-point lead at the end of the quarter. What a night they've had in terms of their shooting. Everything dropping in for them. We'll get right back to the action when we return. And it's time now to bring you our State Farm assist of the game.
And how about the big fella here showing us he's got some point guard skill here with the tremendous setup.
Now the passing for the team becoming contagious, this time involving the big.
And we reach the fourth quarter in a game that may be already out of hand. So for the Clippers right now, we've got Kawhi Leonard. Green is out there with Montrezl Harrell. Then it's Paul George, and it's Williams at the 1. And the shot goes in.
Count on Kawhi Leonard to work as much as he needs to get to the spots on the floor where he can be successful. He's a good shooter from mid-range.
DeRozan finds Mills. Over Williams. Excellent D there from Williams.
Perfect defense. Contesting without fouling, exactly what you want to do, especially deep into the paint.
George looking around. Passes it to Leonard. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him. Leonard's got 11 points here in just the second half. Outside DeRozan. From the left block. Rebound by Harrell. Harrell's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Here's Leonard. George passes to Williams. DeRozan against George. Leonard inside. No good. Murray with the defensive effort. And here's Gay. He'll bring it up for the Spurs. 19-point game. They'll be playing host to Chicago for their next game.
Good recognition there from Rudy. It's fantastic to see him shoot off the dribble with that kind of rhythm.
Outside Williams. And it's Leonard. That time on the assist by Williams. And that's now 26 points for Leonard.
Up by a bunch. He's still pushing the action, trying to impose his will.
Well, collectively, they've done it tonight here. A passionate performance from the squad.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. One constant for the San Antonio Spurs, the ability to protect the rim.
Well, they do it on 2 levels. You have guys moving their feet. They get in great position defensively. And then you have 6 straight years where the Spurs have been top 10 in block shots. I think that would surprise a lot of people.
San Antonio making a switch here. Carroll's checked in. Outside DeRozan. Murray against George. Back to DeRozan. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Shoots over Leonard. Once again off the mark by San Antonio. Shoots over Carroll. That one off the back iron and out.
You can see how clued in the defense is to take away those mid-range shots and challenge. Solid at getting a hand up in the face of the scorers.
And DeRozan kicks to Gay. Here's Aldridge. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. Prior to the start of the last season, Aldridge signed a contract extension to stay with San Antonio, to the surprise of many. Most fans thought he wanted out.
Well, I think the Spurs bet on Aldridge turning things around a little bit. Maybe after 1 year in the system, he would find it to be a little bit more comfortable, and he ended up having one of his best seasons to date. I mean, you could include his years in Portland in that as a cornerstone for the Spurs franchise now. Sometimes just takes a clear head and a little bit of communication, and Pop and LaMarcus sat down and had that talk, and last year he had a tremendous season.
The first one falls.
No doubt that last season was the best year LaMarcus has had, not just as a Spur, but maybe ever. Numbers across the board, both offensively and defensively, carrying and shouldering the load without Kawhi Leonard for just about all the season. It's pretty impressive stuff.
Patrick Beverley, he's checked in for Paul George. And so LaMarcus Aldridge nails them both. And for Aldridge last year, Brent, a far cry from when he asked to be traded, but then had a sit-down with Greg Popovich, and that seemed to straighten things out.
Yeah, there were some frustrations for him, and the only way as a player you're going to have clarity is to sit down with your coach and hash it out, and Pop was more than willing to do that and reset some things for LaMarcus Aldridge, and they figured out a way to get through it, and it seems like whatever that clarity was, it worked out best for both parties.
And the pass there floated it up to the precise spot it needed to be.
And no messing around on the finish. He powers it through. And that was an unleashed chaos moment indeed. What a spectacular play. Sponsored by Under Armour Hover Havoc. Williams kicks to Leonard. Beverley the pass to Harrell. And that one drops for him. And the Clippers lead by 18. And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far here in the fourth. Pass to Aldridge. Knocked away. Stolen by Beverley. The pass to Leonard. Back to Williams. Feeds it to Beverley. Outside Leonard. Shoots over Carroll. Another one falls for the Clippers.
And with time becoming a factor, that may do it, guys.
Well, leads are not given. They are earned, playing with desire and attention to detail all night.
San Antonio calls timeout. They trail by 20. 1:44 left to play here in the fourth. Chance now to recognize our Jordan Player of the Game, Kawhi Leonard.
And what an amazing ball game we've seen from him. It's been a one-man show worth the price of admission all by itself. There wasn't anything he couldn't do on that court tonight.
He silenced this crowd with an unreal display. His ability to drown out the noise and the hostility of an opposing crowd is pretty special. Carroll kicks to Murray. They are now showing NBA games in virtual reality. You and I have actually seen some examples of that. They can recreate almost any angle. Have you gotten a headset?
I haven't gotten a headset, Kevin, but I have watched it. You and I have talked about it several times.
Many times.
It's an amazing experience, and it will only get better. But I really think about if I was a kid growing up in Germany or Italy, and I had an opportunity to pull on a pair of goggles and to watch the game's greatest players from a seat at half court or the cameras that they set up underneath the goal at either end. What a fantastic way to be enveloped by the NBA game.
It's a cool view.
It's a very cool view, and it's only going to get better.
Yeah.
One shot.
Brent, when you won your first championship back in 2005, you were inserted into the starting lineup in the playoffs against the Nuggets. What did that feel like?
Well, that was a lot of fun. I joked around a lot about I was replacing Manu in the starting lineup. It was very exciting to have that opportunity, and obviously that team that year going on to do great things. The goal we set out to do was win the championship. Mission accomplished.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Clippers.
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And so they'll stretch their victory total to 19 on the season.
And continued dominance against this team, winning both of their matchups this season.
And you know, when you look at the huge impact he had, just a monster game for Leonard.
Well, he could not be stopped on offense. Super efficient tonight. There wasn't a lot the defense could do.
There's 31 seconds left in the fourth quarter. He gets that one. Leonard's got 35.
And saving their best for last. Tremendous run here to seal the win.
And you could just see everything coming together like a perfect storm, and they just rolled on through.
Walker finds Mills. That falls. Nice feed that time from Walker.
And defensively, you have got to extend to their shooters. They have been on fire this half.
Yeah, and then the fear sets in that you're going to create driving lanes that could lead to easy buckets. This is not an easy fix.
So it's Los Angeles winning this one easily. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Paul. What was the area of emphasis coming into the game tonight?
I mean, we knew this is a team that you can't, take for granted. They play hard. So we had to, step it up, execute offensively, and, stop them from scoring.
Definitely the fundamentals, but those are the most important things. Thanks, Paul. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. So for David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, Brent Barry, and the whole 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for being with us. See you later.